Welcome back to Geek Show Helpdesk.
I'm still not used to the name. I'm not used to it. It's so weird.
Wait a minute, I have a button for that.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay, James, you've been replaced.
Sorry.
By a button deck, nonetheless.
Ooh, there's a fast one.
That's right. All right, this is the Geek Show Helpdesk, where we talk about gadgets, tech, spacey things that are cool, technology that are cool, science that is cool, cool stuff. And let's kick it off by introducing our panelists. Coming in at spot number right next to me, it's Jaren.
Hey, this is Jaren. You can find me on Twitter at Jaren.
Nice. Right underneath him, we got Owen.
Hey, follow me on Twitter, X, whatever, at TechNoan.
Twitterx.
Twitterx, yeah.
And then we got James.
Oh, what's up, guys? You can catch me here, Twitter, Blue Sky, ever since Rebecca hooked me up.
You got Blue Sky too? What?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty dope.
How'd she hook you up?
She's been on there for a bit. She has invites now. I don't have invites yet still.
Blue Skied. I Blue Skied today for the first time. My very first one I sent out, and it said, I guess I'm one of those lame people now that carry a voice recorder with them into meetings so I can take notes, feed it into ChatGPT, and remember everything.
You're just giving ChatGPT more information.
That's fine. I'm a generic white guy. What's it gonna do?
I don't think
It can't pick you out of the other generic guys.
It can't hurt me.
Yeah,
Speaking of generic white guys, we have a host. His name's Tony.
That's right. The genericest of white guys. It says so according to Ancestry.com. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony, or on Blue Sky, Quad T, or on other Geek Show podcasts, wherever Geek Show podcasts are sold.
Do you have
freely?
Wait,
and it's
go
everywhere.
you go on Ancestry.com and you have the original generic white guy gene.
Oh, dude. It's like, it shows you the map, and it's like Sweden, Norway, Scotland, England. Just you are the whitest,
deep
of the
in the
white
heart,
guys.
just in the heart of it.
How many places did your families pillage?
All of them.
Shame.
All the white ones, anyway.
All the white ones.
Yeah.
Whoa, all the white ones. I got to meet our podcast granddaddy. I don't know, what are we calling Mike? The group leader, if
Lawyer
you will,
Mike?
the lawyer. Yeah, Lawyer Mike.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time.
Great guy, Lawyer Mike.
Really nice guy, not what you imagine a lawyer to be like.
No, not really.
Board shorts, a Tommy Bahama shirt, backwards skateboarder hat, some little scruffy hair. I dig him. He's my kind of lawyer. He's the kind of lawyer that says nah a lot. You know what I mean? Instead of no.
Yeah.
We should do that. Nah.
Shout out to Mike.
Nah.
All right. Do we have any emails?
We do.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Do we want to read them?
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay, we got an
okay.
email from Argo Spurton.
Argo Sportin.
Sportin. Oh,
That's
yeah.
a real word.
I just don't recognize sports in any of its forms. Question for the podcast. Hello, Helpdesk podcast. Been a new listener from the Geek Show side of things and have been really enjoying your content.
Hey, thanks.
My question is, where do you guys go for tech reviews on products before you buy them? I used to watch Linus Tech Tips, but it's recently come out that their testing methods aren't that accurate and seems to push more quantity than quality / correct information to the consumer.
Among other
Thanks
things.
for letting me listen.
I feel like any program at scale like that, I'm sure, just like anything else, started very genuine and it becomes a industry.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
leading...
the thing about
sorry.
Linus Tech Tips is it started off more as an entertainment channel, a tech entertainment channel. And lately they've been pushing into tech like reviews and things like that, like hardcore reviews and things like that, and that's a lot harder to do than to be an entertainment channel.
Tried to swim in some real big data, some true accurate data pools that were
the Ars
little
Technica,
over their head.
the Ars Technica zone or the Gamers Nexus zone, and it's those take a lot more work on the back end to be accurate and good. And so
it's not just putting up some sound baffling. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah. So kind of like springboarding off of that, it's a site that you guys turned me on to back in the day. It was the Wirecutter. I still go there. I know New York Times bought them out. Big money came in and just backed the truck up.
Wirecutter's
I still
not
kind of
bad.
like it a lot. You know?
Yeah, well, Wirecutter's good for like the more pedestrian things out there, in my
Okay,
opinion.
first, ouch. Okay.
I was wondering if
The
No.
more
reply to that.
casual, they
Dang,
dump
that's,
it,
uh,
Casual, just
all right.
Like,
It has
what's
a
the
lot
best?
of-
What's the best vacuum, or what's the best? I don't know.
I feel like it's a
stool
conglomerate
for
of
your
search.
money. You know?
Yeah, I feel like it's a conglomerate of search results. It's like, what are people searching for?
Best
think-
stool.
Jaron just called me stupid.
Firm.
No,
Right
generic.
after the beginning of the show, just to pull back the curtain a little bit, he was patting himself on the back by like saying, I've been nicer to people lately. Good for me.
Yeah.
I think it's because you haven't been on for a bit.
Well done for turning that back around on me, James. You have graduated, and I promote you.
Is this what gaslighting feels like? Because it feels great.
You got it right there.
It's like Wirecutter really isn't geared for the
Well-
more nerdy techie stuff, in my opinion.
It's more like regular consumer based
Yeah.
goods.
Yep.
List.
Thanks
People
for,
that
thanks
color
for
best
saying that more
crayons.
eloquently than
Here's
I
the
did.
here's a 50 best gifts for dad.
Yeah. So the thing
Slightly
about
better than that.
the thing about looking up tech stuff is I have certain sites for certain things. Kind of getting at what
Yeah.
Jaron is saying. So for AV stuff, the best is rtings.com, ratings.com, but it's
What
RTINGS. They do super exhaustive, very data driven reviews of things like TV, surround sound setups,
TVs,
sound bars.
speakers.
I said TVs. I
You
just
said TV
speakers,
surround
too.
sound setups.
There was a pause.
Was there a comment
anyway,
in there? TV
They
surround
also do headphones, things like that, AV stuff. For the
Headphones.
most part. I just said that.
Yeah, that one's a troll.
I thought there was a comma. Head. Phones.
Head/phones.
I missed you guys. You guys are fun.
We missed you too, James. Come play more often.
I love. Okay.
Where else do you? Well, where else do you go? What other?
So that's where we go for that, or where I go for that. Engadget does a pretty good job of. They're kind of a mid between Wirecutter and ratings.com. They cover more specialized stuff, but they also cover some of the more mundane things.
I really like Marquez for
Yeah.
phones.
Marquez is great.
Yeah.
Yep. MKBHD.
Yeah.
He's just got such a good personality.
He's
he
super fun
does.
to watch.
He's amazing. Digital Foundry for
Digital-
GPU reviews. They seem to be the most unbiased out of everyone,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
And the other
You
cool
don't think
thing
they
about,
lean towards Nvidia
they lean towards whoever is the best.
benchmarking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Whoever's putting up the best numbers, that's who's going to get, a little more coverage.
Well,
So-
and Nvidia pushes graphics boundaries a lot more than AMD, so that kind of
Way
seems to get
more.
more coverage.
They come up a lot more. Right?
But they talk about performance as well, which AMD excels at. So
One of
it's-
the things
I feel it's fair.
One of the things I really like about them, even other than just graphics cards and stuff, is they also do specific games. So you can see how good is a game like this going to run on my PC before I buy it. Is it something that I want to deal with or not? And consoles as well. So
Man, that'd be the next great step. Like, if you could put in your personal rig, like gaming rig details, like this is what you've got, and then have AI or something simulate what that game would look like using your hardware.
I bet you we're 5 years or less away from a program that
Yeah.
does that.
They're like,
Hey,
we're
that's your $1 million idea right there, Owen.
I just gave it up to this guy. There you go, guy.
he
Listeners?
still hasn't listened to it. You have time.
No,
To
I've
develop.
got like 2 days is like not enough time for
If you
that.
develop a cocaine habit, sky's the limit.
Oh,
And if you like gaming laptops, Jared's Tech on YouTube is very good, very thorough. So yeah, there's a lot out there. Overall, I would say CNET and Engadget are probably your most kind of generic good ones. Wirecutter.
you guys ever?
CNET's
What do you guys
kind
think
of
of
been going
Tom's?
downhill
What do you
lately.
think
Have
about
they?
Tom's hardware? What do you think about Tom's hardware? Do you
I
guys?
love Tom's
Hardware's-
hardware.
Tom's hardware is great.
find-
for,
yeah.
they're PC centric though.
Yeah,
Only
and-
PC stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I think for me the main thing is spread out the love, read more than one review.
Oh,
Yeah,
huge,
about the
hugely
same item,
important.
right.
Yes, about the same item, because some reviewers are going to have a better or worse time with it than others. So,
Yep.
you need
And
to be
read
able
the
to get a.
and I read the reviews of actual people that have bought it, like if you can, like
That's
there's
hard.
obvious, yeah, it's hard sometimes because there's some people like it came in a box that had a bent corner and the company didn't send me a new one.
1 out of
you
5.
know, 1 out of 5.
Completely
So you kind of have to look at that and find trend. You get really into that where you find trends in something. Once
Yeah.
you start finding a trend in a review, it's worth looking into more. But
Yep. Well, there you go. Hope that meandering answer helped you. Mm-hmm. And thanks
our
for writing
answer.
in, Argo
Run
Sport.
with it.
Got an email from Lang. He says, "How goes it, fellas?
What up,
I got
Lang?
I got
I'd
a
say
question
good.
and I got a question and some recommends for you all. Well, mostly for Lando. So here's the question. My wife is doing a side hustle that requires a desktop setup, but all I have are laptops. If I had a $1,000 budget, how would you build a PC to last the longest for a peasant that only runs a few data entry programs and minimal photo storage?" Not sure why that's for Lando, but
Digital photo storage, like storage is so cheap right now, man.
yeah.
Like you can go to Costco and get like a 14 terabyte for like $100.
yeah, it depends. I
That's
mean, it's
true.
almost worth buying just like a pre-built model for that much.
So what did he say it's used for? Mainly like photo manipulation?
No, a couple data.
Well, if he's going to spend
Entry?
$1,000, like a laptop, honestly, might be a little bit better because you have to buy a monitor.
Yeah. If you don't have a monitor already and a keyboard and a mouse and everything, that's
I think he said she
That's
had to have a
400.
desktop set up though.
Well, and don't forget, like
Yeah,
your local universities, they have
surplus sales.
surplus sales like all the time.
It's
And
just hard to find
sometimes
any
they just have to
desktops though, right?
Kick it out.
He does
not a
say-
UVU. I was gonna say
he does
UVU,
say it requires a desktop setup.
Well, I would say jump on to PC Part Picker and look at some of the builds on there.
Yeah.
The other
People
thing
have done it
is-
already. People have done it already. You can even put that in. I think say
Yeah.
like $1,000 build, and people
For sure.
have done it.
And the only main thing you need to remember is if she's not going to be doing any gaming or video editing or anything like that, you don't need to stress the video card too much.
Right.
So you know,
Couldn't you just get like a
you could even get an
iGPU?
APU. Yeah,
yeah?
you can get an APU from AMD and have that cover it, or Intel has the
yeah, they've got their
integrated
Intel
graphics
HD.
as well. So
Yeah, their Intel HD is not bad, and then you could spend more of that money on memory and
yeah, I would say
storage.
you know, latest i7, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD for your boot drive. You can get a motherboard for around $100 that'll have what you need. You know, I think
Power
you're
supply.
yeah.
Maybe
I
power-
think like 650, 700, 750.
I think you could build something really good for around $700 and then put the rest of that money towards your monitor and stuff like that.
right.
Maybe spring for a 2 terabyte SSD because they're super cheap right now.
Well, I would say
Bit more photo storage for you.
I would say go with a 1 terabyte for your C drive, and then get an additional 2 or 4 terabyte for your storage drive.
Did he say
and
that
then-
she's doing photo editing?
Yeah, for photo storage.
Minimal
photo storage.
I wonder if that's for like
storage.
family photo storage because
Probably.
if you have a Amazon Prime membership, they have a really good
It's
storage.
included. Yeah.
Yeah, it's included. I use Amazon Prime as a backup. I use Google personally just because I like how it lays out the timeline for me.
So you have
And I get-
2 backups basically of your
well, and a
photos.
hard drive backup just in case.
Yeah, you're well protected.
Email goes on. Next, a recommendation. It has been a struggle for Lando to wrap up the Helpdesk episodes. so instead of have you
Wait.
tried turning it off and on again? Here's a few that I think fit the podcast just a bit better. And yes, they're all quotes from previous episodes. You know, this is me talking, not Lang. I think I have to agree with him. I'm kind of have you tried turning it off and on again, or on and off again? It's, I don't know, starting to get old.
I wish we had. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, his suggestions. I did the best with what I had. That's the cost of doing business. Did you chunder? Got to spend time on your nethers.
How do you guys like
Those last 3 are from me.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
something to the extent of how do you guys like if you order 3 podcasts, you get free shipping? No,
Yeah.
I get it. That was stupid.
know?
Oh, stupid James. Put too much self-worth in it.
You know what? I say we. You know what? Let's kick it to James for the end of the.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's
make
see what he
James-
I
does.
get to say
let's make
anything
James-
I want.
Here's the
No,
thing.
You gotta
We-
say
we-
something.
We don't have to use the same one every time. We can have a grip of them that we choose from. There's nothing
wait.
wrong with that.
That brings up a good question. Who's going to do it today if Landon's not
Well,
here?
James, clearly.
James,
You want to trust me with the last
you better be
word?
ready.
I do, James.
Just
In fact,
pay attention to the very
in
end of
fact-
this episode when it cuts out a little bit early.
I'm looking forward to it.
In fact, that's your kickoff to him. Hey, James, what's our last word?
But
Give us the last word,
Oh,
James.
that is fantastic.
But, but, all right.
I succeeded.
No, the email's not over.
Oh.
It's almost over.
Okay.
Thanks to Mismash for the honors. I will see what I can forward for the episodes. For example, did you know Viagra came as a mistake after working with donkeys?
Literally and figuratively.
I mean, that was
Imagine
like
that.
they were like, we need this donkey show to go on longer.
The more you know. Owen, don't worry. You have something that looks like Riz.
Yes.
What is that? Is that a rapper?
It's a
Did you just
good
get
thing, I
wrapped?
think.
It's a millennial thing.
Yeah.
I'm the Rizzler, as I've been told.
Right. Yes.
So my drip is hot on God.
Fly is fire.
Wait, did you say millennial or Gen Z?
Gen Z, what'd I say?
Millennial. You were scaring me for a second. I had no idea what you were
Oh,
talking about.
crap.
Wait a minute. I don't even know
ruined it.
these words.
They're going to know.
And I'm a millennial.
You just outed yourself.
My drip is
elder millennial.
bussin' and things.
That's enough of that.
I hate that word.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thanks for writing in, Lang. Let's see. What do we got to talk about this week? Do we want to do an LTT update real quick, or should we just let that
Has it
poor
smoldered?
beaten
Is
horse
it did we get any more
lie?
did we get any more flames? I mean, I saw
Well,
saw the drama
I
kind
guess
of
we're
on
doing
Reddit.
this. Yeah.
I just
So
wanna-
since our last episode, it also came to light that at least one former employee is talking about being mistreated while working there in pretty much every manner you can expect someone to complain about being mistreated at in an office setting. And so now they're addressing those concerns. The CEO Taryn has said he's hired an external
LTT's not the
Like
CEO.
consultant company or something?
He stepped
an
away,
external consultant or
He
whatever.
stepped away before this all went down.
Yeah, about 6 weeks ago.
but he
Or-
was the CEO when it.
Oh yeah, when
it's-
this was
when
all
it was
yeah,
going
when
down.
everything
Yeah.
that was going down went
Yeah.
down, he was the CEO.
For the listeners that aren't familiar with the story, can you give me a TLDR?
Yeah, I guess. Linus Tech Tips had the worst week imaginable for a large YouTube outfit.
As close as to getting canceled as you can get without actually being canceled.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is
pretty
it
much.
all bad for him?
It's all bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. So, everything from questioning their ethics with what happens to things that are sent to them from places that ask, for reviews and things like that, all the way to purposefully using or at least knowingly using bad data in their reviews and figures and things like that.
Did we
Being
just
called out,
suggest
And
being
them
called
as
out by
a-
Gamers Nexus, right? Finally,
yeah, Gamers
and
Nexus
they-
was the one that did the expose.
and they're
on it.
usually not like that. Like they don't have the need to go after other people.
Well, no, Gamers Nexus, that's kind of their bread and butter is deep dive exposés on
Right.
stuff like that. Like when they did one on EVGA, why it was being closed down, and that was really interesting. And they did another one on a boutique PC builder that went out of business after they refused to give an awarded computer away to a streamer that they had promised to, because they decided the streamer didn't have enough followers and they wouldn't get enough exposure by giving away that computer that they won.
Kind of like these online vigilantes,
Kind of, yeah.
you know.
And it just happened to be that it was LTT's turn, and he had enough and a lot of evidence, receipts to make the video more than worth
Hearsay.
the
yeah.
production and time spent on it. So it wasn't that he was specifically like, oh, I need it's time to bring down LTT. It was look,
There's finally enough evidence.
we
to make a
have
story
all of
here.
this stuff that needs to be brought out into the light, and because it is misleading consumers that base decisions.
Well,
on
just
what
look
they
at
get
that
off
last
of
email
LTT.
where, that listener that was like, I used him for a lot of my consumer purchasing
Yeah.
advice,
So
And they were just doing it for the ad, doing it for those neat segues.
those dollar bills.
Minus LTT, they always do those nifty,
Well,
clever segues.
Yeah. And then they released a couple days later. They released an apology video that did not land well.
It was monetized and it had sex jokes in it.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Oh yeah, it was just straight up regular Google
Yeah.
monetized. Yep, and it had sex jokes, and it had jokes about always pushing to sell their stuff on lttstore.com. Like they just really missed the boat on this one. And
Pimpin'. Big pimping.
yep, they really. And then that was after Linus doubled down on posts on his forums about why he made the decisions that he did on certain things. And yeah. They stopped production for a week to say they're going to do some internal investigations and try.
No
to
WAN
figure
show?
out. No, they even canceled WAN show.
Wow,
which
that was a big question online if they would actually
yep, they
double
even-
down on the WAN show.
And
you know?
and I think it's a smart thing that they canceled WAN show because history shows that Linus does not perform well when faced with issues in a live environment, and he probably would have put his foot in his
Oh, yeah.
mouth again
Or
if
yeah.
anything was brought up.
What a nerd put under public pressure didn't
Yeah.
articulate well.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
so weird.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the LTT update. They're supposed to resume production on their stuff, I think, at the end of this week. I don't know if I'm interested in seeing what they have anymore at this point for a while, at least.
Did any of you guys unsub?
Jaron and I
unsubbed.
did, yeah. And it's not going to be a permanent thing, but I'm going to unsub for a while.
Well, how else? Yeah, how else do you cast your vote with a
Yeah,
company like that? You know.
Yep. So I'll give them a month or two and see if it's worth going back to, what changes have been made and things like that. But I'll tell you what, it sure has freed up a lot of space on my YouTube recommendations because they were putting out 25 videos a week, which is
Yeah.
just too
Well,
many.
what's that girl that got fired or whatever? Like she was saying about the pressure, and they even
She was the one that was whistleblowing on Twitter
Yeah.
about it, Madison something or another.
yeah. But that was interesting too. How they were just like, if
Oh,
you
they
followed the
totally
Reddit,
hosed
they
her.
have a Reddit subreddit, and they was just, I guess that's where some responses came out of, and from Linus or whatever. And anyway, it was fire in there too. It was a dumpster fire.
Yep.
All over the place.
All over the
So,
place for Linus Tech Tips and LMG over this last week.
Well, there you go. They shut down for the obligatory apology period of mourning their ethics.
At least he didn't
They'll be
pull
back
a
in a
Miranda
week.
sang,
Oh,
whatever her
man.
name is, and whip
Yeah.
out a ukulele and then like try to sell the song and then strike people when they.
Yeah.
that one was rough.
That wins right now for worst response.
Yeah, but it still sucks when you have to say, "Well, at least you're not as bad as this person."
Right. Yet.
Oh.
So, all right. Let's move along to. We have a couple of AI stories here. We haven't talked about AI too much in the last couple of weeks. So,
Or have we? And has AI been censoring us?
We'll never know.
Ooh.
So we might as well talk about it now anyway.
Good point.
And that's the question. Can we even detect AI? Jaron, that's your story.
I understand.
He was
Why do
you
you
wait
wait
so
so long to say
He
anything?
was taking a moment of silence for impact.
My brain
And we
works
can't handle
differently
it.
than yours.
He's
To
waiting
me,
for that-
it
he's
was
waiting-
a
he's waiting.
reasonable.
He's waiting for that page to load. That's
So
what it
by,
was.
by differently, do you mean slower? Because that's the vibe I'm getting.
The only
differently.
time my brain works quickly is when I have something to make fun of.
Yeah.
Of someone else.
It's
Okay.
oh, that's the truth. Quickest
always
cut in
in-
the West over here.
It's always in defense mode. Always just like, okay, who's gonna attack me next? I got my hands up.
So,
You got it.
as far as detecting AI, we're talking about written text.
Okay.
And in January, OpenAI, they announced a tool that could supposedly detect written text from AI, which teachers could use to check papers,
Right.
stuff like that. They have quietly taken that
narc.
down.
They just do not. This is not the droid you're looking for.
Actually,
Like-
we don't have this.
And the reason, and I quote, is for its low rate of accuracy.
So the one thing it was
like
meant
if you're the student that got failed because they said you wrote and AI wrote your paper and you're like, I promise it didn't, and they're like, this tool said so. Tough beans, because they knew it was inaccurate and they didn't care. So.
Yeah. They say we are working to incorporate feedback and are currently researching more effective provenance techniques for text, and have made a commitment to develop and deploy mechanisms that enable users to understand if audio or visual content is AI generated.
So translation, one of their family members failed a class and now they're shutting it down.
If AI can't detect AI, we're screwed.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
What if the other AI just tells it, I'm not AI? Are you AI? No. Carry on.
Nah.
This next election cycle is going to be terrifying.
Oh, it's going to be terrifying. I'm already terrified.
The AI asks the other AI, how many fingers do you have? If they
6.
say anything other than 5, they know it's an AI.
Yeah.
But soon AIs
okay.
will know,
Yeah.
just say 5 or 10, How many hands? Yeah, this is going to be a big problem as we go on if it becomes undetectable by both humans and algorithms, because what can you trust at that point?
It's already hard. It's already hard.
Probably,
Have you guys
yeah.
actually seen any, like, I swear there's news agencies out there, entities out there that are using AI for their fluff pieces now, their stuff.
CNET's been caught.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've already been caught.
And so
Yeah.
it's like, you just it was already hard to vet the sources we had. And I'm not, and I'm a person that is by nature untrusting of a single source.
Oh,
And
I thought you were going
so-
to say untrustworthy.
And there's AI content
Some of
farms
them.
already,
Some
and
of them.
it's just going to make Google horrible.
Oh man, can you imagine it's crawling
Yeah.
through?
Yeah.
It's just gonna. At least we could rely on our own Google skills that we've cultivated over the last 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can't even rely on that because the data being scraped and presented back to us is inaccurate. So,
Or may I suggest that millennials are the best to cope with this, and every other generation they're screwed.
oh, that's true.
Millennials to the
only
rescue.
ones- Yep,
Yeah.
we'll be the only ones that can do it because we saw it from the beginning.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know what it's like.
Gen
Did I
Z,
just
they're
say
too
that?
young. Gen X and older, they're too old.
Yep.
Perfect.
We are.
Did I show you
the
guys that
future.
history of the generations thing that goes back and talks about the hero generation?
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of that idea.
You did. That was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, in other AI news, well, the courts have decided, at least this court anyway, that AI-generated art cannot be copyrighted.
You can't. They're not.
Cannot.
Because who would own it?
Yep. Well, so here's the
It
story.
willn't.
Is United States District Court Judge Beryl A. Howell ruled last Friday that
What a
AI-generated
name.
artwork can't be copyrighted.
That's weird because, like, what if it was you call AI your paintbrush? Like, it's
Well,
just
see,
a
and that's-
tool.
and
It's
that's-
just a tool.
That's the question. What about that kind of
It's
that
just a
kind of thing?
brush.
So it was in response to a lawsuit against the U.S. Copyright Office after it refused to copyright an image for Stephen Thaler, I'm not sure, for an AI-generated image made with the creative machine algorithm that he created himself.
Yeah, as long as you create the algorithm and you own it from
Well-
bang to bullets, right?
How do you know that? What are you training it on, though? Are you training it on art that you created yourself?
What if he trained it on his own art? Does it say that?
Nope. But I
No.
guarantee he didn't. Come on.
He's like the most prolific artist makes maybe 500, 1,000 portraits or pieces of art, and that's just not enough.
That would
Yeah.
actually be a really interesting art piece.
Yeah.
An artist that knows a bit about AI, creating their own AI based on their own art pieces. I'd go and see that.
It would be
I'll tell you,
interesting.
somebody who actually like works in the manufacturing space, and I manage a marketing team that has a lot of creative assets that we have to go out and actually take photos of. The next big thing is if we can actually like train AI on objects and then have that generate, like for us that would be huge.
Yeah.
But if you know
So
somebody.
in her decision, Judge Howell wrote that copyright has never been granted to work that was absent any guiding human hand, adding that human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright. And see, her decision was borne out in past cases cited by the judge, like the one involving the monkey selfie, when the monkey took a selfie and someone wanted to copyright it. Now, to contrast, Judge Howell noted a case in which a woman compiled a book from notebooks she filled with words she believed were dictated to her by a supernatural voice, and that was worthy of copyright because she wrote the words herself.
And that goes like we were saying before, like if she's like without the guiding hand of a human,
Right.
or whatever, it's like, well, the AI was trained on something that's a guiding hand.
But
Maybe
then
if it's not his work, then
exactly.
they've got a case.
That's the
But
problem.
she said it's basically that she wouldn't copyright it because it wasn't guided by a living mind or a human hand. But really,
And then-
the stronger case is it was trained on art that wasn't his. Therefore, he couldn't have created it himself or uniquely. So
Yeah, and further she says humanity is approaching new frontiers in copyright, though. Where artists will use AI as a tool to create new work. She wrote that this would create challenging questions regarding how much human input is necessary to copyright AI-created art. Noting
it's
that
coming to a tipping point already.
But then the same thing you said right there, noting that AI models are often trained on pre-existing work. So that's the biggest hang-up that we're going to have going forward is, can you copyright something that, sure, you put the prompt in for it to be done, but what about how it was trained? Like, what about everything, all the copyright infringement that it did in the gathering of data for how to write this new thing or draw this new thing?
It's going to be an art commune, right? Because no one person can produce enough art to train an AI, in theory. And this art commune gets together and it's open source art, AI art copyright, because they all consent that any art they make or draw in this commune.
Good luck getting artists to agree to that.
Good luck getting all of the artists to show up to the same place at the same time. To be able to communicate without getting frustrated or passively frustrated.
All they have to do is make their art. Any art that's made while at this commune.
You're telling them that they don't get the rights to it.
That's what they understand is that all they are doing is making the training data for an AI, and then any art they generate with the AI afterwards would be copyrighted to them because it's a conglomerate.
How do you do that though? You give a piece of the copyright to 1,000 different people?
Yeah.
And they split the proceeds for however it's sold.
It's an LLC.
1,000 ways?
It's an LLC.
It's about as a person who works with creatives, you're giving them a lot of credit, bud.
That's true. Okay. Sorry. I'm programmed to provide solutions.
You're spitballing, and I get that.
I'm programmed to architect, and so I can't not think about it.
There's no solution for this right now, though, unfortunately. So, and that's where all the hubbub lies.
Well, too bad, pal. You can't draw things unless you trained it. Like you said, that notebook filled with her own insane musings, like apparently, that's hers from Bang to Bullets, even if whatever. But so it would really depend on where the training data, right? It boils down to the training data.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor in all the cases.
You can't copyright your ChatGPT prompt or your AI prompt, right? That's basically what you're doing. You're a prompt engineer. That's the new job title, by the way.
Prompt engineer.
From Bang to Bullets.
I thought that was really neat.
Where does that come from?
Westerns? I don't know.
Is that an Owenism? Did you make a new thing?
I've never heard that before.
That was the first time hearing it.
Owen just made up a new word.
What? Oh, I don't know where I heard that from. Somewhere. Grabbed it from something.
Look it up. Somebody
Google
look it up.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. In the meantime, Owen, let's talk about.
Talk about some Facebook AI.
Yeah, let's talk about some Facebook AI.
Some Facebook AI. Some Babelfish. guys?
Is it
You guys
Babel or
know-
Babel?
Babel? It's like the Tower of Babel.
Oh, okay.
So, you guys know what the Babel
Oh.
fish is from?
Babelfish is
The
from
Bible?
no, the Babelfish is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's what this is. That's what they're referencing, and they call it the Babel fish in the book or the movie. Do they?
Yeah,
they call it
the
the Babel
Babelfish.
fish? Okay, I only read it. I've only read it, so I didn't remember the actual quote in the movie.
Pretty sure it's Babelfish.
So I was gonna say that Facebook is doing what Reddit failed to do initially. Because one of Reddit's biggest thing with their APIs and all that thing was because they're a little bit stung by the fact that these really, really, really successful companies like ChatGPT, OpenAI, that are getting billions from Microsoft, used Reddit's, use their basically free API calls
right.
to train their models, and you kind of can't shove that genie back in the box. They can't prove it, therefore they can't litigate it. They can't get their cut of the money. And so I was going to say that, but then as the article goes on, so Meta is basically aiming to use it's called Seamless M4T, and it's a multimodal AI model that will do speech and text translations. Do you know what this means? Come on, say it. Universal.
Speech
Universal.
and text translations.
Universal
Translator.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Google was working on this a while ago, and we talked about it. These earbuds that you put in, and basically somebody talks to you, and then it
Yeah.
translates, and we're like, "Wow, that'd be so cool."
Yeah.
Facebook is going for this as well. It can do text or audio. It can from text to speech. So you text, it talks, speech to text. So you speak and it texts, speech to speech and text to text translations for
Dang.
up to 100 languages.
Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it
so
good though?
that's the
Well,
question. How,
yeah.
I don't know if it's going to sound robotic or what, but
Well, I would say even the intonation and whatnot of it doesn't matter as much as will it be able to understand people with accents, and
right,
things like
or
that?
all the
'Cause-
different slightly different dialects, right?
Yeah.
Even in South America, they're speaking the same language, but there's regional dialects that are
Well, there's regional dialects of English in the
right.
U.S.
right.
For
I
sure.
mean, is there a place where you go? Maybe New Orleans.
The Deep South, stuff like that.
Well,
for
in
sure.
New Orleans, that Creole accent. In
It's like a mix of English and French, kind
Yeah,
of.
It's what
that one's
Gambit
hard
speaks.
to exactly.
Yeah, it's what Gambit speaks.
Make sure they get that one on
Sherry.
file. So yeah, it's going to be, they are opening it to what they're calling a research license. So they're not going AI, they're not giving it away for free. But it's got a lot of hours of mind, speech, and text alignments to kick this off. So
How many hours?
270,000 of those hours.
That's too
That's
many
a
hours.
lot.
That's a lot of hours, Tony.
That's a lot of hours.
Hey, that's a reference to home again.
Wait,
Anyway,
you mean 470,000?
No, 270,000 hours is what it says. The biggest open multimodal transaction data set to date, totaling 270 hours of mind, speech, and text alignments. 270,000
Where am I
hours.
looking at? This is 470,000 hours.
Am I wrong? Anyway, one of the things they say is that Google's been doing this for a while with Google Translate text to speech.
I see where you saw that.
And the translation functions support 100 languages for speech output and 36 for the text link for the texting is 100. So when it says it supports up to 100 languages, that's actually only for text. The speech output function supports 36 output languages.
Oh, okay.
So
I think I found a problem in their article. They say 270,000 where you're looking
And then
at it,
later,
and then
yeah.
2 paragraphs down it says 470,000.
I would have never got
hours.
down there in the fourth paragraph. Nope.
If you keep reading,
I didn't know there was more words after that ad.
That ad's too big.
It's too big, and
I
I
don't
thought that
like
was
it.
the end.
Yeah, it makes it look like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
But they do say this multimodal speech translations 470,000 hours. So they talk about in this article how they trained it. And then one of the things, and this is going to become, as AI law starts to surface and become more prevalent, which is happening now, it's kind of weird to be like living in this time when it's happening, because it's like new. How weird is that we're like doing something really new?
Yeah.
Like normally it's like, oh, there's precedent here, there's precedent here. Like there's no precedent for this. But one of the things that's going to come up in AI law is going to be, where did you get your training data?
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
that's going to have to be that. In fact, I assume that will be table stakes for even starting a business. What did you train this on? And that training data will become IP. You know, that is what that is. And they talk about where they get their training data from, and they kind of go a little bit, you know, sketchy, and they say they didn't specify exactly where. It says Meta is being a little vague about where it got its training data. The text data came from the same data set deployed in NLLB, which was Wikipedia, news sources, scripted speeches, and other sources, and translated by professional human translators. Seamless M4T's speech data came from 4 million hours of raw audio, originating from a publicly available repository of crawled web data.
They just scraped the internet. That's all they're saying.
Define crawled web data. How much you want to bet you could, if you switch those letters around, it would just say YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
That's the same as them screaming, "We didn't steal it. We didn't steal it." If that's what you guys are thinking.
I didn't steal this. It was lying there on the floor already. I just picked it up.
Look, sound waves are
walk
just
over it?
flowing. We would just set up a microphone in Central Park, and it just,
I'd be silly not to use it.
yeah. And but they didn't. But anyway, repository of crawled web data, of which 1 million hours were in English. So basically, they got 1 million hours of English. They did not specify which repository or the provenance of the audio clips used. So again, this is the Wild West right now. They're taking advantage of the fact that nobody is really able to enforce what your data sets are, where you're training those from, because that's one of the requirements of these large language models is they don't create something from nothing.
Right.
You know, no matter how much you want to turn that around and look at it through a different view, they are using some sort of foundation. AI cannot create.
Oh, humans kind of do that too.
Yeah, but we can make the conscious choice too. We have
that's
ethics
where
and morals.
the question is. Well, that's where the real question is. When does AI considered VI, virtual intelligence?
Right. Yeah.
Because at that point, if something is considered a virtual intelligence, it has the same level of
choice,
creative,
right?
Choice making as a human does, you know. And in that case, it'd be hard to deny it something like a copyright, you know, because that's exactly how we operate. We see everything around us, we take it all in, and
until an AI's data set is created only from other AI data sets, though, you can't truly say. Even
like
then,
pulling,
right?
yeah.
Right. I mean, you could still make the vague connection back to the fact that without the original seed,
without the original data sets.
Yeah.
So
if you guys sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if you guys ever come and visit me in my office, there's a book that I always give to people that like take tours through the studios over here. It's called Steal Like an Artist. It's a fantastic, like, easy to read book. Look, Owen has big letters.
Wait, so you just have copies of these books around that you give to people?
Yeah, I just buy them and give them to people as they're taking the tour. But basically, like, it's my philosophy on like creating things. It's like, don't reinvent the wheel. Take the wheel and make it better.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Everything's already been made. Let's be honest. The ability to make something absolutely completely new at this stage in humankind is
even consciousness.
It's preposterous.
Almost, yeah. Preposterous is the perfect word, James. Thank you. Everything we do is a combination of our experiences and our research, you know? And so that's where the question is, when do we count an artificial intelligence or a virtual intelligence equal to humans in the...
When is it changed enough, right?
Yeah. When is it something that they created based on their own will, their own desires, their own choices?
And we already have that precedent set for humans, because how do we decide when something should or shouldn't be copyrighted. There's a percentage of difference that it has to be if you want to make a song.
Yes,
and you're
that's
like,
true as well.
You're like, oh, this
Is
has
it
to be
different
48% different in the music. So at what point does AI, when does that percentage tip towards original art
That's
or
another thing to
original
factor,
creation?
for sure.
Didn't Ed Sheeran actually just get done with a court case about that? Just saying, like, somebody was suing him for the riff in one of his songs.
Sounded
and then
like
he
a
actually
Beatles
brought his-
song or
Yeah,
something
something like that.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he went to court, he played, like, a progression, and he showed, I can play 90%
These four
of the
chords
songs.
these four chords are used for 90% of the music out there.
And so,
So-
it gets a little murky, but at the same time, I understand how it could be weaponized in as much as just, you know,
I mean,
saying
it was,
it's okay to
it's
steal.
patent trolls. I mean, that's the whole thing
Yeah.
behind patent trolls, right?
It was Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On."
Let's get it
Oh,
on.
that's
was
right. Yeah,
the
yeah.
one
Yeah.
that was in question.
And he
with
played
Ed
it in
Sheeran.
court.
Yeah, he
And he
won the
basically
case.
threw it down. He won the case, but he basically said, if I lose this, I'm quitting music. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I'm out. Ed Sheeran
I
out.
mean, I don't think
Ed
he would
Sheeran out.
I'm not making that Taylor Swift money.
Yeah.
No, nobody is.
Can you imagine how awesome that would be? Holy moly, she's cleaning up right now.
Big
Anyway.
time. So there you go. Very interesting stuff on the AI front. We're at the point where we just gotta see where it goes. You know, hope the decision makers
Future is now.
make good decisions.
Yeah.
And knowing who our decision makers are, I don't have a lot of faith in that.
Probably not in great hands.
I, for one, welcome
Our
our
new
AI,
AI
overlords.
VI overlords. because
VI overlords.
I won't accept it until it's VI.
That's right. All right. Let's see. Let's switch to real brains.
What?
Real brains, brainwaves, reading brainwaves. So scientists reconstructed the song "Another Brick in the Wall" by Pink Floyd from reading a patient's brainwaves. They were able to basically, it was a research team in the University of California, Berkeley. They decoded the listener's brainwaves using their sensors and whatnot. And I believe that these were not external sensors. These were invasive surgery sensors on their brains, but reading the sensors information on there from the brains, and they were able to identify and reconstruct.
Were they using
Pink
AI
Floyd,
to do that?
The Wall, Another Brick in the Wall.
I thought they said that an AI.
They probably had to use some of that to sort through everything, just because
Yeah.
it does it so much faster
find the
than
patterns, right?
humans would to find
I
the patterns.
really
yeah.
hope those sensors were in there already.
For one, like, hey man, we just need to have you listen to the song.
Yeah, don't worry
Downside-
about it. Just fall
Downside is
asleep.
we're gonna drill about 7 quarter-inch holes.
So
in
yeah,
your skull.
it
You
was.
said you were just filling a cavity.
It was information from people that had sensors already in there. They were
Well, that's a relief.
epilepsy suffering patients that had
okay.
sensors already in there for monitoring stuff and things
So
like
this
that.
could go
if I
like
read
one
this
of two
correctly.
ways. It could be awesome because it could be like, think of those awesome dreams that you have and you sound crazy trying to describe them. It's like, no, check this out. And like you're actually able to show it. But then I also don't like the idea of somebody being able to steal your consciousness, you know?
Right? That's not
Like
good.
in, what's that Jordan Peele movie with not the upside down, but the sunken place? Oh shoot,
I
what's
don't
that
know if
called?
I've seen that.
Oh, freak. Okay, never
Nope.
mind. Sorry.
So anyway, yeah, that's interesting. It's
Imagine the privacy implications of that if that's the new lie detector. They make a way to make
Well,
this external, right? And then they just
yeah,
start asking you
that's the thing.
questions, and your brain starts reproducing data that you can't stop. It's like having a telepath in the room.
Yep, that's exactly what it's like.
Which it's a good thing, but also a bad thing, you know?
Yeah,
The
it's
ability
like-
to lie.
Well, it's one of those things that's like, if used purely for good,
Yeah,
it could be a good
which
thing.
it never
but
will
but
be.
to
It never
Define
will be.
good.
So
you know
it's
why? Because
definitely-
bad evil is unregulated, and so
That's right.
evil always takes precedence, and then finally good catches up and smushes evil. But I mean, look at the
This is what the Marvel movies tell me. Yes.
like the Dark Ages. Most of our medical knowledge and what we know about anatomy comes like in the initial foundation of that was from the Dark Ages when they were just cutting people open for
Well,
fun.
they were doing that out of the Dark Ages too, even in the Renaissance and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's where
Well,
and a lot of our medical data also comes from Nazi prison camps, which is
Oh, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say.
pretty
that-
horrifying.
Yep.
And we built on that, so it's like unregulation always precedes regulation in that way. Like we always have this foundation. Then somebody goes, we probably
You
shouldn't
took
be
it a little
killing
too
people.
far, you knuckleheads.
We probably shouldn't be killing all these people. So
I like how you use the word probably in there.
Probably.
You
It's
always
a-
got to
it's a bad
hedge.
idea.
Like,
Yeah,
what
I
if
mean-
what if you're wrong?
You never
Yeah.
want to be definitive.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because then it can be held against you at some point.
yeah,
Whoa.
exactly.
Did
If I
we
ever run for
Agreed.
office, they'll be like, "You definitely said it wasn't evil, and it was evil." I'll be like, I said it probably.
I said probably.
probably.
If it was in a Kentucky court of law, Your Honor, I do declare that I have not perjured myself. If you read back the transcript.
if you read
do
back
declare.
run the tape.
Now,
you
someone
play
get
the
me a
tape-
mint julep.
My
I have the
iced tea
vapors.
Ooh,
has
crazy.
become mildly tepid in my grasping hands. Dude, I think
All
we
right.
would do good in Kentucky. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's where our new target audience should be. Is in
Yeah,
Kentucky.
I think you missed a calling there. I mean, you
I
need to-
know. Gosh dang it.
That's
Let's-
probably good. We don't have any listeners there, I'm guessing, because they
Kentucky James. That's what we're gonna.
There might be. You
Oh,
never
can you
know.
imagine how cool I would be?
Kentucky James.
Oh,
We need to have a whole segment of Kentucky James.
My molasses I have seen has gone asunder from my hands. If you read back.
I don't know. You kind of sound like a
I
guy
go
from
Georgia?
Knives Out.
James Bond.
Benoit Blanc. There we
Benoit
go.
Blanc, yeah.
Benoit
Couldn't think of
Blanc.
his name either. All right, let's see. Let's do a quick lightning round and call it a day. Actually, I don't have a lightning round one, so we'll skip on to. No, wait, I do. There's one. Very quickly, there's a company out there making synthetic salmon.
Hey,
Of
we
course.
knew it was coming.
Yep,
Can you taste the difference?
that's what
That's the
that's
name.
what the article's about. Can you taste the difference? And the article says yes, you can.
That's
I-
the new uncanny valley will move from visual stimuli to all the other senses now.
Yeah, exactly.
I read this article too, and it brought back a argument I've read before, and it's like, do vegetarians and vegans really want the taste of meat, or are they happy with what they're doing? You know?
Yeah, and he addresses that a little bit at the end, and I think that stuff like this is more for people who wish they had the willpower or desire to be vegan.
They need a little.
or
They need a
vegetarian.
crutch. They need a crutch.
Yeah, they need a crutch.
So
And-
vegans, vegetarians who don't really commit.
yeah,
don't want to commit
exactly. Don't want to
fully.
commit
And
fully.
you can't fight evolution. Our bodies are programmed to smell fat and salt,
And
like cooking
and sugar,
and
yep.
and sugar. Like, no matter if you're vegan or not, you salivate. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can understand that this fills kind of that.
I think
that
the
area.
real future for these kinds of things, all of the plant-based or lab-grown proteins, is for when it gets good enough that it can replace the factory farming.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, like
That's-
salmon, that fish, that's one thing. It's not as impactful to the
it's
environment.
less, yeah. Much
Whereas
less.
like cows,
Beef.
yeah, they're
Right.
horrible for the environment. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
support the cow side a whole lot more than
Yeah, beef and chicken, I
Fish.
as well.
So we'll see where it goes. But they said for a first shot, they actually did a pretty good job. They basically found a way to create the scaffolding of the meat and fat, and then would fill the scaffolding in with their own proprietary like protein and fat mixture thing
yum.
and flavoring. So
They sure know how to sell food.
it makes
You
it
know-
sound good, doesn't it?
Here-
Once the
here's-
gel is fully frozen, the ice is removed, leaving behind empty channels. The gel is the scaffolding, right? These channels act as a scaffold and are filled with proteins and other ingredients. Color, flavor,
Our
fats,
scaffolding is better than the competition's.
to
It
form
sounds like
Yeah,
the
they're-
muscle
exactly.
You
fibers.
can you can taste it.
exactly.
That's
That's
right.
like what
Yep.
are you
So-
gonna what's your brand? Our
Their point-
scaffold brand.
That's right. And the point of that is to make it look and break apart like salmon does, you know, the flakiness and everything like that. So Anyway,
You know,
it's
so-
a beta right now, and they said it was actually pretty good. And if it continues to progress and becomes cheaper than regular salmon, then it might have a place in the
See,
the
and
market.
that's where it's at. It has to taste like it has to be cheaper because
Yep.
everything in this freaking world is too expensive right now.
True
That's
that.
that's where morals and ethics usually slip at, is when cost
When it
comes
costs,
down. You
yep.
know? And so it's like, wait, we really love t-shirts. I just don't like t-shirts for $20. What if we make kids make them in Mexico? Well, how much are they then? $2. I mean, the kids make some money, right? It's a lot of money to them.
Oh,
What's 20 cents
Okay.
in Mexico? It goes a lot farther, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't go a lot proportionally, and so that's where the ethics of
you reason your way out of it.
your reason. That's the truth.
We already have fake crab. What's another
Yeah,
How did society
water
bond-
animal?
imitation crab's been around forever.
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like it was like the people in charge are just like, well, crab. Even the rich people were like, crabs are really hard to catch. Nobody, who's gonna know? Nobody's
I'm
gonna
sure they
know.
were that whiny sounding too.
Well, what's
Yeah.
funny too is if you look at the
Kinda
best,
know.
if you look at the best imitation crab, it usually has some regular crab still mixed into it.
Yeah.
to
They're
give
like,
it
we
more
look.
authentic
We're like,
flavor.
we had one cup of real crab,
Yeah,
4 cups
exactly.
of cardboard.
It's
and that's
basically like
it's dog food.
yeah, it's basically like when Taco Bell got busted putting oats in their meat, stuff like that to make it last longer.
You making me eating nuts? What kind
Well,
of
that
Taco
makes me
Bell is this?
mad because it makes it so I can't eat their meat.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
They don't.
No,
They
it's all
stopped.
100% beef now.
What else is in there?
Seasonings.
Do you believe that? Do you honestly
Do
believe?
you believe?
I eat a lot of Taco Bell, and I gotta say, if it's not, I don't.
Did you
care.
detect it before?
Dude, I ate Taco Bell last night and it tasted like dust.
You have a bad Taco Bell in your area,
Yeah,
sir.
I do have a bad Taco
The only thing
I
I will
had
say
it for
is
lunch,
that
and it
they're,
was glorious.
they're tortilla chips. I got the Nachos Bel Grande yesterday, and I ran out of toppings before I ran out of chips.
That's
'Cause
why
I
you
ate-
always get extra cheese.
So,
That's
Well,
Tony,
right.
the
cheese.
chips are horrible.
let me get this straight. You had it coming out both ends yesterday, and the
2 days
first
ago.
meal afterwards is Taco Bell.
You just gotta
Oh,
jump
yeah,
back
man.
You
I
gotta
gotta
jump back
put-
on the horse, man.
I got to put my gut through its paces to make sure
Yeah.
it's good to go.
You just get right back
okay.
up on the horse.
You
I know
can't
gluten free doesn't understand that, but
Respect. Wait, what did you call me?
gluten free.
That's
We got
offensive.
Kentucky James, and we got gluten free up in the top right there.
I
That's
have
so
a
freaking
moniker.
offensive, man.
All right, Jaron, do you have a what do you call it? Lightning round?
I do. Those with tinnitus, the ringing in your ears after a lifetime of listening to loud music, going to concerts, and having a kid scream in your ear.
Yep.
Speaking for a friend, not me at all. There is possibly a new treatment, and it's shown to improve tinnitus by quite a bit, actually. According to the participants, it went down by over half. And basically what they're doing, they're listening to something like a certain thing for 30 minutes, and they have electrodes placed on somewhere.
Oh,
crap.
somewhere.
Is this the
eh?
thing where they
somewhere.
insert probes into your head?
They attach electrodes near their ear and on their neck, and it puts out an electrical impulse. Anyway, if they did this exercise for 30 minutes daily for 6 weeks, tinnitus went down substantially and continued to be lower for up to 36 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still a short period of time? I mean, not a short period of
Well, you
time.
can just probably do the exercises again and have it be
Yeah,
good
yeah.
again.
And
you know?
it's equipment that you could take home, so
Oh,
you
yeah,
don't have
that's
to go
great.
to the doctor for it. Yeah, I'm way interested in this.
You
This
gonna
sounds
order
really
it?
Cool. It's a trial right now, Tony.
Oh,
It's
you
not
should try and get in the
available.
trial.
Do you have really bad tinnitus?
I do, yeah.
Is it
It's
from music or is it from kids, do you think?
all of it.
I just looked it up.
All
It's
Like-
one
of
of, one of the main
above.
causes. One of the main causes of tinnitus: high blood pressure or allergies.
Oh, I do have allergies. Don't have high blood pressure.
You do have
I
that
went to
gluten allergy.
many concerts growing up. I listened to a lot of loud music, and so it was always there. But with my last child, it got markedly worse because
The last kid found the pitch.
yeah,
To
he
finish
did.
it off.
I used to think I was crazy. I'd be like, "You guys hearing that?" They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I hear like a whining somewhere."
And
That's
then
your kids.
people would cut to like, oh yeah, it's
I
you're
slam my
whining.
kid's door, and I'm like, "Never mind."
Oh, there it was.
Is somebody gonna answer the phone?
All right, Owen, lightning round.
I'm gonna toss this one out there for a lightning round because we're just not getting to it, and I don't really care anymore. But it's you guys remember back in the day we talked about that WorldCoin because we were really into crypto. There was like a stint I think I
We?
recall.
I don't
We
ever
were?
remember being into crypto. That was
Because
really
we are a team, Jaren.
Okay, yeah,
You're
all
only
right.
as you're only as obsessed as your least
Throw
obsessed
me under
member.
the bus. I get it.
You're only anyway. WorldCoin was basically they take a picture of your face and you register, and that your face becomes your identity. And
Just like it
WorldCoin
is
was
now.
just
WorldCoin
sounds
was
like the real world.
WorldCoin was the token, the blockchain that this would transact on. Well, I didn't know this at the time. We didn't know this because I don't think at the time ChatGPT had really, broken the surface of our consciousness here. But it was the founder of WorldCoin was Sam Altman, who is the founder of ChatGPT,
OpenAI.
OpenAI, and the creator of ChatGPT. And we talked about this back in 2021, but we have an update that came out about this. The WorldCoin Globe, basically the face scanner tool, is going global.
Hey.
It's distinguishing humans from AI. That's the whole role. So this is basically, they shut down their Chat GPT, text detection, but WorldCoin is supposed to be able to distinguish humans from AI online. So the idea of being able to spot deepfakes and stuff like that. And you do this by you scan your face.
Data
The startups-
sets.
Yep. You
Just need
you have
big
to
data
submit
sets.
something that is you, right?
Yeah.
And so the startup's helmet-shaped eyeball scanning verification device to receive this is how you get your world ID. This is supposed to become the de facto method in which you are identified in the world.
Why
all
is it so
over.
creepy?
It's so
Yeah.
creepy. But they
'Cause it
started in
just
South
is.
America, so
Yes, it just is.
they're handing out. I don't know what they're handing out. I was going to say something really, really bad right there, but anyway, they started in a low income country and I want to say low income, but I meant to say low regulation. Those are usually hand in hand because
They are usually, yes.
but they started in a low regulation place, and now they're going out to be weird. Here's how it works. In the works for 3 years, they've quietly been signing individuals up in many countries, including India, giving those onboarding 25 WorldCoin tokens. That's what you are worth. That's an interesting thing. Hold on, Coinbase or Coin Market Cap. Come on, somebody's faster than me.
No,
This
I
is
like
your
seeing you
dog
squirm.
and pony
Oh.
show.
Hold on.
What?
Look at his face right now.
How much is WorldCoin currently worth on the market?
Look at his face right now. This is the face that his monitor sees for 12 hours a day. Right here. This is
shut
face.
up.
Oh,
$1.42.
monitor?
$1.42. Now, Jaren, math that up, times that by 25. $1.42 times 25.
Just round it up to $1.50.
like 37.50 or so.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's what your face is worth.
That's what your global identity is worth. And
That's fine.
anyway, the project has received criticism for exploitative practices in poor countries.
Oh, I can't imagine
Oh.
why.
What? But in May and in July, so between May of 2021 and July of 2023, though, more than 2 million individuals have verified their world IDs on an orb across more than 30 different countries. I'm pretty sure they're not to the US yet. Definitely not in the EU. I'm going to the people over in the EU are pretty cagey about their
Yeah.
privacy.
Good luck getting this into the E EU.
Yeah. They're not launching in the US yet. So anyway, I just thought the connection between, I didn't know World Token back at the time when we were talking about it. I didn't know World Token was linked to Sam Altman, who is over AI, and I didn't know the process, the whole idea. Back then we weren't like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna be worried about, and we were talking about deep fakes, and we were like, wow, that's gonna be a mess, but we never thought that AI would jump up so fast and be like iterating on its own deep fakes to to make full-on ads and things like that. That where the uncanny valley, as long as you don't look at the hands, is pretty close. You know?
Too many fingers.
too many, not enough fingers. They're like, there's too much there. See, and I credit this to The Simpsons, by the way. See, The Simpsons has 25 years of making 3-fingered characters, and that's why AI can't get.
Oh wow!
That's why
because
they
of all the
can't.
Simpsons content. I like
must be
that
what it
theory.
is.
And since
Yep.
they've been predicting the future, I'm almost 100%
Put that tinfoil hat on.
convinced that they are being run from an entity from the future. That's my tinfoil hat moment, and my lightning round that turned into more of just a regular story.
I was going to say longest lightning round ever for Owen.
Sorry, we've been shuffling that story along for like a month, and so I just want to.
All of
Get
which
it out
culminated in the declaration that Matt Groening is a time traveler from
He must
the future.
be. I mean, prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong
I
with
can't.
science.
I can't.
No,
You know?
You're right. The burden of proof is on us.
That's
true.
right.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. James, did you have a lightning round?
No, I do not. I'm just
Okay.
happy to be here. I'm happy to be existing. I'm just happy to see you guys. That's it.
Oh, is that the end? Okay.
Yeah, it was the
Is that the end of the show?
I think that is the end of the show, except for we need a big shout out to our awesome Patreon backers, patreon.com/gadgetspot. Thank you so much for donating to keep this train rolling along the tracks. If you donated $6 a month or more, you get a shout out on the episode, which Jaron has for us right now.
Thank you to David Broshinsky, Wiffle Ball Tony. I whiffled that. Connor
Yes, you
Kisa,
did.
Be the 8-year-old. Always reboot after registry changes. Andy Bird, Adam Heck, Ryan M. If you have to blow your horn, chances are the song is not worth hearing. Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd, Joe, Splinter, Dick Messerly, Josh Dorius. Me, speechless like a Japanese video game, ... You also check out Hendrix Craftsman on Insta and TikTok. Matt Nelson, Nathan Moskos, Eric Cruz, Eric Steinman, Kesslo, Jeremy, No Name No Color, Travis Johnson, get geeky stickers for your computer or laptop, or have me design something for you at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. The end.
All right. Thank you so much, Patreon backers.
Yeah, you come on over to our Patreon channel. You get to come into a cool channel if you're a Patreon backer. But come on over anyway. Speaking of our Patreon or of our Discord, you get to come over to our super secret Patreon Discord. But come on over to our Discord anyway, because we've had a bunch come play Minecraft with us. We've had a couple people hit me up this week. I made a new channel, a public channel. Come over and join in.
Let's be specific. Go play Minecraft with Owen.
Oh yeah, sorry.
And sometimes Landon and sometimes
And
James.
even more
Yeah.
sometimes, James.
Or
Dude.
maybe just
I
with
don't-
nobody,
I don't
because
do the
it's been
Minecraft.
we're gonna get Tony on there. Once there's enough public support, he won't be able to say no.
You think you can pressure me into that?
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll set a Patreon goal. Boom, roasted. We'll do it. And you'll
Nice.
play. If we get this many subs, Tony has to play 15 hours of Minecraft.
1,000 subs.
Ooh, that sounds like fun. I think Tony would appreciate some of the stuff I built. I think I did a good job.
Except for this half-done statue of Jaren that you haven't come back to in 4 months. So
I
don't give me that
included
crap.
all of his best features.
All you have is his
From the knees down.
all you have is his package
have
and his legs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
spectacular.
all I
if you ask
focus
me.
on.
I mean, it stops right at his package, and then there's basic. So you don't see anything from Jaren from.
Would you describe it in more detail, please?
Nope, this is the end of the
Especially
episode.
the package.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. We appreciate you. And now,
Is
to
it that
end
big,
us,
Owen? Your hands
to
up
end
there?
it, James is
yeah,
going to take us out.
Opening, field, skin-colored, flaccid, object,
Hey,
fade to black.
we hope you care.
What the heck?